Right, welcome guys. This story it's like the gift that keeps giving. It really is. Indiana Black, aka Foreskin, aka Froskurin. That's right, Indiana Black is her actual name. The G4TV host. I would love to be this ignorant, this nasty, this abusive, and get to where she is in life. That'd be amazing. That'd be great. The complete lack of self-awareness from this individual is incredible. So she's gone on the attack again. She's responded to criticism by doing what you would imagine this individual would do. You're just an ist, you're a phobe, you've got biases, and you are projecting. It's laughable. It's so very funny. And it's not helping their subs and things like that. They're still losing subscribers. They haven't gained any. The daily average is 67, but you can still be losing things by doing that as well. So yeah, you're not gaining anything, it's not helping. I'm amazed that anyone in charge of the money, the financial aspect, hasn't turned around and gone, we need to cut this now. Get rid. Like, absolutely. So I thought we'd dive into it, because this is comical, as always. And this is the state of the industries that we love, right? It's not just the gaming industry, this is the state of the movie industry as well. I've done countless videos where producers have come out and said, yeah, the film didn't succeed because, people were bigots. I mean, we just know that it's coming. People didn't even go and watch it, and therefore, yeah, the movie bombed because of, isms and phobes and bigots. And you're just like, really? Come on. Come on. Stop blaming everyone else for your problems, your issues, your failures. Anyway, so let's dive in. This is just hilarious. The state of it. The absolute state of it. So, speaking publicly for the first time since the airing of her now infamous sexism in gaming rant, G4TV personality and X-Play host Indiana Black has doubled down on her accusatory view of male video game players, even going so far as to accuse one particular critic of being sexist and recommending he read up on feminist literature. Yes, mate. We must read it. We must read feminist literature. No. So, during a recent broadcast of X-Play, after finding herself frustrated with a number of the objections, so this is to do with the rant itself, which I will leave linked above, so just go check that out. I've done a video on that. We've watched it. We've torn it apart. But this is the interesting element, right? This is the interesting stuff. So, in the wake of that episode airing and the subsequent spread of Foreskin's rant across social media, one viewer on Reddit took to the G4TV subreddit, which was actually locked. It was completely, they banned everyone from commenting because they just put it on complete lockdown. But they posted a thread saying, why are people hating on the lady hosts, especially Frosk? I just saw the video of Frosk and it really blows me away. Are a lot of these people just her haters from her days in the league? The user asked. It blows my mind. People are so toxic, and I wish there was a way we could send love and support to the cast and crew. Yes, that's right. That is legitimately what someone said. So the user's question was soon met with a response from Black herself, who informed Squiggles, apparently it blew up how I'm spreading misinformation because I've made mistakes when talking about game releases. If you don't correct yourself, yeah, that would be spreading misinformation. That's just a fact. Sorry for not always getting it right. I work a lot of shows and game news isn't my strength or passion, so you shouldn't be doing it. Playing games and reviewing them is. I'm sure that it would be everyone's preference to just play games and get paid for it. And bear in mind, you have to be good at it. But if you inherently think women shouldn't be in your hobby, then making these mistakes become fixations to justify my ineptitude. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember the initial question. It was actually quite nice and supportive. And then this is the reply, right? So already very, very defensive, very, very much on the attack. And this nonsense as well. Well, but if you inherently think women... No one said women. No one was talking about that. It was just, what's the issue? Why are people... Like, what's the problem? And then instantly, boom. Yeah. Women shouldn't be in your hobby. That's not what anyone said. That's not even what you said the issue was. Apparently it blew up because I'm spreading misinformation, because I keep making mistakes. Okay, so no one is saying, even by your own admissions, that women shouldn't be in the hobby. No, that's not what anyone's saying. And also as well, you got to remember, ladies and gents, like little gamers that sit in their bedrooms all day jerking their jimmies, they love women in gaming. Like, they absolutely love it. Like, they'll be the ones that sign up to the OnlyFans. They'll be the ones watching all the Twitch people in hot tubs and all this kind of shit. Yes, there'll be obviously a subset of those people that will be saying, no, of course not. But they love women. They're not misogynists. That's the point, right? They do actually like women. But then they would get this, say, noting that League of Legends was brought up. Black rounded out her response by accusing the League of Legends European Championship of perpetuating rampant racism and sexism during her time within the organisation, taking issue with such occurrences as English language broadcasts of events being hosted by white people, and key managers in Riot Esports saying incredibly offensive things about diversity and inclusion and thinking it is a bad thing. Diversity and inclusion in the normal, current, modern sort of sphere of what that is, it is a bad thing because it's forced, it is exclusionary. We talk about inclusivity, but it is exclusionary. It is also not done on merit. It is tokenization. It belittles the individuals that you actually put there because you're putting them on a pedestal for no other reason other than how their skin pigmentation is. And then also, how they identify or what they choose to do with their genitalia. So, yes, it's belittling. Yes, it is actually bad. And it's not right at all. Oh, no. Strange hot take, right? I would have, apparently, this is what she said, I would have committed ooey-eyed, if I can't say that, if I stayed at the LEC. That is why I left, from the bullying from the community. And the toxicity from the management and lack of support from the team and peers. I had a full mental breakdown due to the working pressures and treatment from those managers. Look, I'm not going to comment on that. I don't know. I'm sure, that's terrible if that is the case. What else can you say, right? However, despite her attempts to silence her critics by preemptively painting them as blatant sexists, Sean Finnegan would jump in and say, you're out of line. You wagged your... And this is a very, 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 very well put, actually. Quite eloquently put. You were out of line. You wagged your finger at the community, and you demonstrated incredible unprofessionalism and a lack of judgment that is not only immature, but lacks any true self-awareness. You obviously can't handle criticism, and you have huge self-esteem issues. Your rant mentioning previous hosts and making the bangability and jack-off comments were crude, inappropriate, and just vile. You alienated gamers who would have supported you had you approached the issue without being toxic and insulting. Agreed. But wait, ladies and gents, the response to this, you're going to love it. It continues, by the way, but I just want to give you this moment, this next paragraph, I want to give you the time just to consider what response this cretin might have to these kind of comments. Do you think they'll be enlightened? Do you think they'll take it on board? No. He would continue, and he said, I don't give a good damn that you are a woman. I am judging you as a person based upon your actions and your words. That's equality, by the way. I have no confidence that you understand the problem here and that you will only dig yourself into a deeper hole by doubling and tripling down on this mistake. I will not be watching G4 because of your behaviour and the toxic behaviour of Cezla. You both have destroyed the relaunch of G4. It's dead. So very much, your actions, you as a person, how you're acting, that is why I will not be watching any of this stuff. You are a horrible individual. And basing you on your actions, not on what is between your legs. Perfect statement. Well, that is literally equality. Good. And then she would reply with this. It was a 3-minute segment where we rant about something in gaming that bothered us in a 2-hour show. Seems to me you're letting your biases sway you in what is actually a problem. If you think me asking people to not be sexist is toxic, then I don't think we're having a discussion in good faith. Cheers. I can just see her doing the whole fucking thing again. God. It literally makes me want to take a brick to something. Like, honestly, I can't even say that, but it really does. Actions like that from these... Oh, God. There are just some people in life, right, that just push you to the absolute limits of your self-control and what you'd be willing to do to an individual. That's one of them. It really is. So anyway, refusing to allow himself to be talked down to, he would reply, and he says, my criticism of you is specific and based upon your words and your actions, not between the legs. You're trying to paint me to be biased, and therefore you want to diminish my opinions. Sorry, you don't get to do that. You didn't really ask. You ranted, you lectured, you accused. You used a shotgun when you should have used a scalpel. You were making an emotional scream and were misguided. And from your response here, you still ignore your responsibilities and your role. You're obviously of low self-esteem to compare yourself to previous hosts. They have and had nothing to do with what you were venting about. Agreed? You were criticised for your lack of gaming knowledge and you got butthurt and lashed out. You were toxic in the way you lashed out at everyone watching, at all the people on the DM, and against male gamers in general. We, gamers, not just men, see you. You are correct, we are not going to have a good faith discussion because you lack the maturity and responsibility to be accountable for your actions. You own all of this. Maybe you should just attempt to be more self-aware of what you did and offer a sincere apology to those of us in the audience who didn't deserve the emotionally charged blast you released. Own it and apologise. I suspect it's far too late, however. Epic reply. Epic reply, but these people just bury their heads in the sands, and this is her response. I didn't get butthurt for not knowing something. No one is perfect, and I made mistakes all the time. I didn't even know people were up in arms about whatever. That speech was due to seeing years' worth of sexist behaviour and to me, and you're proving my point with this post. Yeah, that's right. You're just an ist, you're a phobe, you're a bigot, you're sexist, whatever. Utter, just nonsense. If it's to do with, like, historical situations... Like, that's not the platform to do it on. Like, you're talking about things past on a relaunch of a new thing. Like, why would you do that? It's not relevant. But anyway, he would reply and says, I'm holding you to standards that are genderless. As I stated, I don't care about your gender at all. I judge you on your words and actions alone. You claim you didn't even know. Well, you should have known that the information you provided was incorrect and that your statements demonstrated that you don't know the material that you are paid to know about. You failed, then you make excuses about it. No real personal responsibility. So, you have this build-up of years of sexist behaviour and you decide to lash out at the audience on your new gig at G4. Poor judgment. Now you're attempting to label me as sexist because I have a problem with how you acted and what you stated. Again, please go into specifics on how I am proving your point. Exact details, please. You won't because you can't. You need to own what you did and accept that you were out of line in your broad accusations and your inappropriate comments. You should have addressed the individuals who made sexist comments directly. Instead, you lost your temper and your judgment and you fed trolls by showing us you're thin-skinned and are easily triggered. You used a broad brush. You seem to be avoiding this obvious fact. Just chowing down on these morsels. It's lovely. Anyway, so then Indiana Black did say this, says, I did address the individuals specifically. I didn't lose any temper of judgment. And I was very controlled and delivered during a segment for exactly what that segment was. You're basically in tears, love. Shut up. You're showing your bias in the language you used to describe what was a 3-minute section for exactly that. Things that were BS in gaming. So that's not in gaming, though, is it? Gerard was actually going to make the same point but didn't need to after I did. And then we moved on and gave away an Xbox and continued with content in a 2-hour stream because that's what we do. Yeah, after going peace and irritating loads of people. And making sure your channel loses subscribers, of course. She then accused her critic of being part of a bad faith actors that assume asking for people to stop being sexist to women in the industry that is rife with gender discrimination and toxicity towards women non-binary is somehow bad. If you're not part of the problem, then you weren't who I was talking to, so you can move on. Cheers. But it's very clear that you are part of the problem, as shown by your discourse. That's right, yeah. Any judgment, any critique of Lord Foreskin, that's it, you're an ist. What a pleb. Oh, what an absolute pleb. And she continues as well, saying, I misspoke on 2 games. It's blown up as a means to try and attack me because the community is sexist. Of course, people make mistakes all the time and they're not held to the same standards as women. Yes, they are. Or other marginalised voices. Yes, they are. You idiot. Shut up. Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's garbage, isn't it? Like I said. But this is what happens all the time. We get it when all-female movie bombs. That's it. Men just don't want to watch women. Men love women. Men love them. Right? Adore them. It's just that you're making crap media. Someone says something bad. They're not honest. You know, the people that call them out on it are not honest. They're just trying to correct them so they can do the job that they're paid to do. Like, it's just nonsense. So I thought we'd cover this again today. I've been pretty restrained on this. This is actually my third video. Loads of people have made loads of videos on this. But it will be interesting to see what actually happens further down the line, whether anything more comes from this idiot. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at Missed Reviews, and become a channel member, Patreon, in the links in the description box, and check out my second channel in the description box. Thanks so much. Take care.